Well, thank you, Jordan. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, we can.
Wonderful. I had to switch computers here. There's something going on with my other computer, but good afternoon. Thank you very much for joining us for our workshop. I apologize for the delay. Today's topic is all about advertising with Google Ads. And so thank you very much for taking some time out of your day to join me. This is one of my favorite topics to discuss. I think it's a very strong strategy as you work to evaluate your 2025 marketing goals. So I'm going to be sharing my screen. Let me pull up the presentation and we'll go from there. Just a second. All right, Jordan, just confirm, can you see my screen?
Yes, we can.
Wonderful. All right, again, today's topic is advertising with Google Ads. Let me see if I can center this here. Oh, 1 second. There we go. If you'd like a PDF copy of today's presentation, you can visit our website at clanincreative.com/workshops. Just scroll about midway through the page and you're going to see a For Attendees section. Just fill out your name and email. And again, you will get this PDF copy of today's presentation. Sometimes it's nice to just download that and refer back to that at a later time. As Jordan mentioned, my name is Scott Clanin. I am the owner and director of Clanin Creative. So we're a full service creative agency based in downtown Champaign, and we serve clients all across the Midwest. And so we started as a digital marketing company that evolved into the creative space. So we now design brands and websites and different creative mediums like those, but digital marketing has kind of been the kind of foundation of who we are. And so we've been following along with changes on social media, so Facebook and Instagram, but changes in search engines as well. So Google Ads is something we've certainly kept an eye on for some time. So I'm really excited to share some tips and tricks with you again as you work to evaluate your marketing strategies for 2025. All right, so Google Ads. I think one of the things that I'd like to do here is actually flip my screen back to a live view of Google search, just so I can give you the lay of the land. This is really going to help put things into perspective here. So 1 second while I switch my screen back to Google search. And then again, this will help make things a little more clear today. Okay, in front of you, you should see your Google search. So if I was to type in, let's just say like family therapy services in Champaign, Illinois. And let's make this a little bit bigger. Okay, I want to walk you through the structure of Google so we can really understand what we're talking about today, because Google means a variety of different things. So when we're talking about Google Ads, there's Google Search Ads, which we'll talk about, and Google Display Ads, which we'll talk about as well. When you do a search on Google, you're actively searching for something, whether it be a product or service. In this case, I'm looking for family therapy services, specifically in Champaign, Illinois. So at the very top of your Google search results, you're going to see these sponsored sections here, right? We've all seen these. A lot of us have probably clicked these before. These are Google Ads. These are specifically Google search ads. So what's great about this, and again, this is the whole structure of today's webinar, is you are bidding on a certain keyword or phrase that you want to show up for, okay? And then as you continue to scroll down past these sponsored posts, so again, all these companies up here that say sponsored, They are trying to bid on keywords related to family therapy services in Champaign, and that's what you're seeing there at the very top. Now, if I was to click one of these, I just cost that business some money. Now, it could range in cost. That could be maybe $1.50 a click, $2.50 a click, or more. But what's great is that you're only paying, you as the business, you as the advertiser, you're only paying when someone clicks that ad, which is great. And again, we'll talk about that here in a bit. So at the very top, that's your Google search ads. As you continue to scroll down, a lot of times we'll see this map section called places. Okay, this is great for local search. This is related to your Google business profile. Okay, Jordan and I have a separate workshop webinar on just that topic that we may be presenting at some point this year. But you want to make sure that your business is verified on Google Maps. And you'll do that through the Google business profile. So if you're taking notes, certainly write down google.com/business. And then from there, what you can do is see if your business comes up on Google. You can go ahead and claim it, or you can start a verification process. So what you're seeing within here, this has nothing to do with Google Ads, but this is a separate Google product. You want to make sure that you are verified on Google and that you do show up still within local search results, because this just adds value to your overall Google search ranking, okay? So very top, Google Ads, middle section here, map. This is your Google business profile. Now, as we continue to scroll, you see the Psychology Today, you see Family Service of Champaign County, Insight Therapy LLC. These are no longer tied to Google Ads. This is your SEO, search engine optimization. So this is your organic, meaning your non-paid rank. So Google is ranking these organizations here by how well their website is designed. So if you've been on any of my workshops or webinars in the past, you know the importance of really good design for your website. This is all related to how well your website is laid out, keywords on your website, individual landing pages that you have on there. So, and that's the beauty of Google. You can get on Google in a variety of ways, whether you're running ads, you're verified on maps, or more. One of the reasons why I wanted to kind of walk you through the structure of Google search results is I get questions related to, hey, I get calls all the time from people saying they need to pay us to help, or they need to pay to rank better on Google. Is that true? It's not entirely false. So down here in your organic ranking, this has nothing to do with money, okay? This is, again, all related to how well your website is designed. Now up here, this is all your Google search ads. So you are paying money to show up here. But some of these right here, maybe LifeStance, I don't know this organization, but they may not be paying anything right now just to show up. They may be doing what's called a cost per click. Talked about that a second ago, a CPC campaign. So they only pay when I click it. But what I love about this is if I'm looking for a family therapy services in Champaign, look how cool these ads are. You have a photo here on the right. From a quick glance, I see, yep, this is located in Champaign. Down here, this organization here, they have actually a little hyperlinked address here. So I know, yeah, these are family therapy clinics located within the area that I'm searching for, just at a quick glance. So it's enticing for me to go ahead and click that. And again, once I click it, then I bill, not me, but Google then charges the advertiser a certain cost per that click. Now, you may also get calls from companies too saying, hey, if you pay us, we can help you rank higher on search engines. And that might be true too. Maybe that's a company that can help you with your organic search engine optimization rank. And again, that's down here, okay? So just be careful when you're fielding some of those calls. Today, we're specifically talking about Google search and display ads. That is related to search engine marketing, SEM. Your organic rank is SEO. So just to kind of help explain and differentiate the two terms there. So hopefully that was helpful. So I'm going to flip back to the presentation now. And hopefully, again, that helps paint a little clearer picture of the layout of Google search here. Okay, just a second, let me get back to I'm working off my laptop. Again, my desktop was not cooperating today, so I do apologize. So let me get this pulled up here. Okay, so before you dive into a Google Ads strategy, there's a few things that I'd love to have in place. The first thing is simply branding. Your brand is more than just your logo, but you want to make sure that you have tight messaging, good positioning in who you are and what makes you different. This is really going to help you write some of your ads, and that can be a struggle for a lot of people. They want to run ads, but once they get into the system to write the ad, gosh, I don't know what to say, right? So what makes you different? What makes you stand out? So all related to branding. The second one is audience identification. So who are you looking to market to? What are they looking for? What are some of the keywords that they're searching for? How can you write or design your ad to really speak to that individual? So audience identification. The third, before you begin a Google Ad strategy, is you have to make sure you have a website, right? We should all have websites. They are your hardest working marketing tool. If you're just starting out or you're trying to consider where to put your marketing dollars, always a website, right? Because your website is, even when you're on vacation or closed, it's constantly marketing your products or services. It's your number one salesperson. So you want to make sure you have a really good website, but a website that's laid out well to where if I'm searching for family therapy services in Champaign, and let's say you are a clinic and you offer a variety of different services, right? Maybe it's team therapy, individual therapy, couple therapy, and family therapy. What I would recommend is you have a separate page on your website / your url.com / family-therapy. Google loves to see that, okay? So that's going to really help when you are running Google Ads. You can say, hey, if someone's searching for family therapy services, I have this whole page dedicated to this service that we offer in Champaign. Point people to that page. Plus, on the flip side, it does help your organic SEO ranking over time too. So the more that you can break your page out, not saying that you need 800 different pages on your website, but let's say if you have 4 or 5 core services, what can you do to break those services out as individual pages on your website? Google loves to see that. And then of course, what's your overall goal and objective? I think for a lot of us, we just need to get people to the website. But for some of you on the call, you may be brand new to the area. And your main goal over the first 2 quarters of 2025 is to simply increase brand awareness. So what you would want to do, instead of a cost per click campaign, you really just want to get the word out there. So you would do a cost per impression campaign, meaning the number of times that ad is shown. And so there's a variety of different options available to you. But I like having these in front of you because it's going to help you set up the account as you're diving through. It'll be a lot easier for you. So again, making sure that you have your brand established, you identified who you need to talk to, you have a really good website and a website that's mobile friendly. If you are designing a website yourself, a lot of times if you're using a platform like Wix or Squarespace, it will automatically convert your website to a mobile device, but do make sure your website is mobile friendly and spend some time on your own website on a mobile device. Because if people are Googling your business and a lot of times it probably is through their phone, they click the ad, you want to make sure that that website landing page on that vertically oriented phone is laid out well. And so just go through it yourself. And then again, really think about what do you want people to do? Maybe instead of clicking over to your website or an impression-based campaign, you want to generate phone calls. Maybe you're a heating and HVAC company or roofing company. You just need to get someone on the phone. Maybe you can push your phone number instead of a website link. So think about what your goals are today as we're going through this. All right, so like I mentioned, there's a variety of different options once you do go to Google Ads. And again, you would just type in, I think it's ads.google.com, or just type in like Google Ads and it will get you to where you need to go. Here's why I like Google Search Ads. Someone is proactively looking for what you have to offer in the moment, okay? So think about for a second like Facebook ads or an ad in the newspaper or a billboard. I love all those mediums. They certainly have a time and place depending on what your goal is. But let's say when you run a billboard, you're paying for the impressions, right? The number of times cars drive by. You don't know how many clicks you generated over to your website, right? Same thing with a newspaper. They go by circulation count. You're paying for the number of eyes on your ad set. But what if there was a way that you can run an ad, but only pay when someone clicks it? And it exists. And that's what Google Ads does, specifically Google Search Ads. Now you have a campaign running where you have a chance to where your ad shows up for someone actively searching for what you have to offer. Now, when you think of that against Facebook, when you run a Facebook ad, you're getting in front of perhaps your core demographic, right? Let's say you want to target women within Champaign County between the ages of 35 and 45 who are interested in outdoor recreational activities, right? Just kind of spitballing here. You can do that on Facebook. And they're going to see your ad and maybe they'll go, hey, I didn't know they existed, and maybe they give you a follow. But not a ton will immediately purchase from you because they saw your ad on Facebook. They're just going through Facebook and maybe something piqued their interest. But if that demographic, someone within that demographic was then on Google searching for, let's say, outdoor recreational items, you want your website to show up if you offer that. And so that's why I love Google Search Ads, because you get in front of someone actively searching. Now, the other one is called Google Display. We've all seen Google Display Ads. I have some examples of both of these in the presentation today. Google Display Ads are triggered when someone is matched to relevant content, okay? So let's say I want to run an ad, a display ad. So when I say display ads versus search ads, display ads are what you actually think of an ad. It's a designed piece of creative that come in a variety of different sizes. They could be horizontal banner ads at the top, square ads, etc. A lot of times they have an image. They have some branded elements in there with color, excuse me, color. And of course, your call to action, meaning your button. Is it learn more, sign up, claim offer? We've all seen those, right? The little button that you see in those digital ads, that's your call to action button. Now, they are not proactively searching for you, but maybe they're somehow right on the fence. And here's an example. When I bought my home back in the day, there was an area in the basement where we could build out a home gym. And so, of course, I was looking for fitness equipment, and I was reading a lot of blogs about some of the top brands of fitness equipment. And while I was on some of those blogs, I saw ads that popped up on the right-hand side related to fitness equipment. So, of course, I saw ads from Bowflex and certain things. Same thing for my kitchen when we moved in. We were looking for a new pots and pan set, and I was doing research, like many people, on gosh, what's a good brand of pots and pans? What's going to, be durable? Reading reviews and different things. And of course, as I'm on these websites, I'm seeing certain ads pop up for certain pots and pan brands. It's because they understand that you're searching for something and they're going to serve you, display relevant ads, right? And those are those kind of creative pieces of ads. And again, I'll have some examples to show you as well. So I like display ads as well. I think it's a great opportunity to expand your reach beyond Facebook and Instagram. I think a lot of people think, let's run a digital ad, let's boost a Facebook post. But not everyone is on Facebook. For example, my dad is not on any of the social media channels, so he would never see your ad. But if he was on, the News Gazette's website or some other news article website where they do display Google display ads, there's a chance that he may see your ad. So again, those are the two big ones that we're discussing today. Of course, there are video ads. So Google does own YouTube, and there are ways for you to run those kind of pre-video ads that we all really don't like to watch, and we all skip them anyway. But that is an option. So video ads, and of course app ads, which we won't cover today, but ads within certain apps on your phone. Of course, what's great with this, and I apologize if my screen's kind of getting caught off here, but what's great with this is that you can set a targeted area. And this is something that a lot of people kind of skip over quickly and forget to set a targeted area. So every once in a while, I'll see ads for condos in Boston. I don't know why I'm being served that. They forgot to redo their targeting. So just make sure if you're really looking to target a certain area, you can do that. You can say, just show my Google ad to people searching for things within this area, which is great. Of course, one of the things that I love about, let me get back here, Google Ads are the metrics. I don't know actually how to get back. One second. There we go. I'm very much a metric person. And so I love seeing how things are performing in real time, so then you can make changes along the way. So if I told you, hey, your ad this week generated 20 clicks over to your website, you may ask, well, is that good? I'm not quite sure. Now, if I said, hey, you got 20 clicks over to your website and it was shown 35 times, incredible, right? You have what's called a very high click-through rate. So if you're taking notes, click-through rate, or what they abbreviate to CTR, that is a number that we really look at to determine how effective your Google ads are performing. Now, all of you on the call represent different industries. Some of you may be retail, hospitality, service-based. Each one of our industries on the call today, we all have different average CTR benchmarks. So if you're interested in seeing what your CTR benchmark is, or your average CTR rate for your industry, just type in like industry name. So hospitality industry average CTR rate, Google search ads. And you're going to see a lot of different studies and articles on what you should be achieving. But that is a benchmark for success. So some of you on the call, you may have to report to a board of directors or your marketing manager on how well things are performing. And again, we can't always just rely on, hey, we got 30 clicks over to the website. What more can we do to really show, hey, this is actually great? Now, of course, if you got 20 clicks over to your website and the ad was shown 200 times, ooh, something's wrong, right? That ad is not resonating with people. And so you need to rethink of the copy, rethink of the messaging, or maybe the creative. People are seeing the ad because that's what's called your impressions. Impressions is the number of times the ad was shown, but you're not getting a whole lot of clicks. And so you have a very low CTR rate. But again, by monitoring the metrics, now you can pivot, now you can change and make adjustments, and you have a benchmark now. So this is where we started. We made adjustments here. One of my recommendations, and this is what I learned during my Google certification training, give it about 2 to 3 weeks. You don't want to make a change and then 2 days later go in and start pulling metrics. Give it about 2 weeks and see how things are performing after that time. Okay. And again, like Jordan mentioned, you're welcome to put some questions in the chat, and we should have some time at the end for Q&A. All right, so let's dive into Google search ads. Now, this is a screen that typically I kind of explain where things live on Google search, but that's why I wanted to bring up the Google page at the beginning. Just thought it would be a little easier. Again, just remember at the very top, those are your Google ads. And then below the sponsored areas, that's your organic search results, not related to Google ads, all related to how well your website is designed. Okay, and we already talked about this, about how you can target people by certain keywords and different things here. Okay, so once you get into your Google search ads, what I love about the system is that it does really help walk you through how to set up good ads. So on the right-hand side, this is a physical therapy clinic that we helped write some copy for their Google ad. And this is what it looks like on the back end. It's kind of fun. As you're developing and writing your different titles, on the right-hand side, it's going to, in real time, show you what your Google display, or I'm sorry, your Google search ad looks like. So you'll see that there's a variety of things to fill out as you're writing your ad. One of them being, of course, what your URL is. So they want to send people to physical therapy, their clinic in Bettendorf, Iowa. And then you have 3 areas for headlines. And so you'll see how those are displayed on the right-hand side. You have advanced physical therapy. You have that divider line that Google will automatically add. Regain mobility and strength, again, divider line, and then the location. I do recommend, if you're really focused on local search, adding your location within the title of the ad. Because again, going back to my example of family therapy services in Champaign, if I'm searching for that, I'm not interested in family therapy clinics in Bloomington, Springfield, Decatur. I'm specifically looking for clinics in Champaign. So because I'm interested in something local, I'm visually going to be looking out for results related to local search. So that's why I like having the location within your title. And we like to add it kind of towards the end there. So you have your 3 headlines, display path. Okay, this is a little hard to explain, but you'll see the actual URL is advancedrehab.com/physical-therapy-Bettendorf. Okay, the display path is a fake URL, kind of. It's a little strange. This is just what Google will display to the user. So maybe you have a really long /, you have a very long URL. This is just a way to very simply kind of clean it up. And this is just a display link. They're not going to click that little link. Anytime they click anywhere on the ad, it's going to go to that final URL there that you see at the top. And then you have an option to add up to 2 descriptions. And you'll see we capitalize each one of the word. That's a best practice. And as you go through this, you might want to familiarize yourself with some of the rules. For example, one of the things that you can't do is put a word in all caps. So for example, let's say you offer a free estimate. You can't put free capital FREE. It will ding you and say, hey, your ad violates. Sometimes they send these scary emails that you broke the internet or something, but then they, at the same time, they don't really explain what you did. So familiarize yourself as you're going through Google, try to find some of the rules and regulations. I would say 90% of the time, if your ad is dinged, it's something related to your copy. So just keep it simple, right? No caps. You see, we put free in here, but we didn't capitalize every letter. Okay. All right. So a little smaller here. Hopefully you can see the screen okay. But there's another option as well. And this is where you can give Google a ton of options. And so in this case, we gave Google a whole bunch of different headlines. So physical therapy services, free injury screens, sports injury therapy. Again, there's a variety of different things that someone may be searching for, right? So what we're saying, or what we're allowing Google to do is, hey, Google, based on these options here, write my ad for me, which is kind of cool. So then Google will automatically switch out headers and different phrases within your title based on what someone's searching for, which is really cool. You'll also see next to advanced rehab, you see that little blue, it's really tiny on your screen, but the little blue tack icon. That means I have pinned that to the second position within my headline. So in this case, what I wanted to do is make sure that the company name was within the header. But I'm allowing Google to switch out the first and third placement within the header. So hopefully that makes sense. Now, if I didn't do that, advanced rehab may not show up anywhere within the title, and that might be fine too. The beauty of all these digital ads is that you can make adjustments along the way. So we are pinning advanced rehab in the second position, and then you're giving Google the authority to kind of switch out the other items there. Now, of course, you want to make sure that you're adding good keywords. Now, you may be thinking, Scott, I don't know what keywords to bid on. And that's fine. I'm going to give you a tool in a little bit that will explain and kind of show you how to generate some keyword ideas. But really think about, what do you think people are searching for to get to your website? This was one for a retreat center we worked with in Puerto Rico. And so variety of different keywords, right? So retreat facility, wellness retreat near me, retreats, Puerto Rico, health and wellness retreats, okay? So you're adding in a variety of keywords, and the beauty of this too is that you can monitor and adjust along the way. So if you see that, gosh, one keyword is just not generating clicks at all, or it's very, very, very expensive, turn it off. If I was to hover over that little green dot, you can turn off an ad or turn off the keyword. So you want to make sure you add certain keywords within the account. And again, it will walk you through and prompt you when to add those keywords once you're ready. Okay. There are a variety of different keyword matches. Broad match is our ads that may show that relate to your keyword. So let's say we look for the keyword furniture store. We can match the following queries. So for furniture store, your ad may show up, what it's basically telling you, your ad may show up when someone is searching for home decor or cream color leathered sectional. Your ad may show up as well. So broad match, okay? Phrase match is ads that may show on searches that include the meaning of your keyword. So cheap furniture stores or living room furniture deals. What store is the best place to find a bedroom dresser? So again, your ad may show up if you're targeting the word furniture store, if it's a phrase match. And then exact match is exactly that. Someone typing in furniture store and your ad may show up. Now, I do want to show you here at the bottom where it says notation for inputting keywords. The one on the left for broad match is just the word keyword, but you'll see the middle one for phrase match, you have quotes around it. So when you're inputting keywords, again, if this is what I recommend too is maybe just starting with broad match. It's just a lot easier and it gives you a baseline, right? But if you feel like, okay, I get that, I'm getting the hang of this, let's try to, for phase 2, let's tighten up our account a little bit more. Maybe let's try some phrase matches or exact matches. So when you then add in keywords, for phrase match, you're going to put quotes around them, and then exact match, you're going to put brackets around them. Again, Google will show you how to do this, when to do this, where to do this on the back end, but there are different match types. And it's kind of fun to kind of think about this, right? Because we've all Googled something on Google, but this is behind the scenes on how those ads are displayed. And there are some settings that the advertiser can set to hopefully help enhance some of their impressions. There, of course, are ad extensions within Google Search Ads. So if you have other areas of your website that you want to push, let's say you have a gallery page, or you have a form, like a contact form on your website, add those as ad extensions. So it's going to still show up your main ad at the top that will take someone a lot of times to your homepage. But in this case for Pizza Hut, they have an order online portal. They have a page for a custom pizza order, right? So those could be different ad extensions at the bottom. So if you've seen those at the bottom of Google Search Ads, those are called extensions. You're going to see that tab when you are setting up your Google Search Ad on the back end. The other thing before we get over to Google Display Ads is that there is a section within Google Search Ads, and it's really important, so certainly take notes if you are, or write this down. There's something called negative keywords. So here's the example for that. let's say we all work for a property development company or a student housing company, and we offer furnished apartments near campus, and we offer 1, 2, and let's say 3-bedroom apartments. Furnished, okay? Now, if someone was typing in unfurnished 2-bedroom apartments near University of Illinois, there's a really high chance that our ad would show up because it's apartments near the university, 2-bedroom. Those are all things that we offer, but we only offer furnished apartments. We really don't want our ad to show up if someone is searching for unfurnished apartments. So what do you think, maybe as you're thinking about your own business, what are some keywords that your ad may show up for that you really don't want to show up for? That is what's called a negative keyword. So you can give Google a list of negative keywords that you may not want to show up for. Real example, and that was a real example that we encountered. Another one was we were helping a therapy clinic, and there were just certain types of therapy services that this clinic did not offer. And so we were able to still target the core ones, but add the ones they didn't offer as their negative keyword. What I love about this is that it stretches your dollar. And so as you're going through your metrics and evaluating how well your campaign is performing and what keywords you're showing up for, you can say, wait a minute, why are we getting clicks for this keyword? We just spent $12 on that. Okay, let's make sure we add that word as a negative keyword. We're continuing to then tighten our ad campaign. So hopefully that makes sense. Of course, drop a question in the chat box if you have one, but that is the concept of negative keywords, something that may be somewhat related to what you have to offer. All right, so that is a crash course in Google search ads. Hopefully that does paint a little bit of a better picture of how those ads function at the very top. Again, you're going to do the whole setup through Google Ads. So you're going to go or just type in Google Ads and get your account set up, and Google will walk you through each one of those. The area that you have to then do a lot of the work is actually writing the ad. And that's why it's important to understand what your goals and audiences, what your audience groups are. Okay, and now there are Google Display ads. So we already talked about how to reach people through Google Display and where your Google ads appear. Here's an example through the News Gazette from a number of years ago, but if you were to go to really any news website or blog website or these kind of larger sites across the internet, a lot of times they do serve digital ads. So in this case for News Gazette, Volkswagen didn't call them and say, hey, we're Volkswagen. We want to advertise our Jetta on your website. There's a high chance that Volkswagen just put their ads through the Google Display Network, and then they are running those ads. And in this case, it could just be a blanket campaign, meaning, hey, we just want to reach areas, people in certain maybe populated areas or certain towns across cities across the country. Or maybe they may have some tracking on there to identify, hey, this person in the past has been searching for vehicles, show them this ad. And so these are those display ads that you see on a variety of different websites. What's great is that you can target people by interests. So maybe you want to target music lovers or outdoor enthusiasts, right? People who spend some time on maybe outdoor blogs, pet blogs, articles. Maybe they have shopping habits and patterns that then kind of place them in a bucket. Again, we're all being tracked for the most part online in a way, right? These tracking codes understand, what you've done, what your behavior is online, and it can then pair certain ads to you. And we've all seen those ads that kind of follow you and things. That's called remarketing or retargeting. But again, this is a little different than Google search. I'm not actively searching for a Jetta. I am just reading an article in my community, on my community newspaper page, and then I see this ad. So it's still very effective. As you go in and design your ad, there are some really cool areas where you can do this little like ad builder, and you can design your own ad within that. Or if you work with a graphic designer, they can work to design all the different ad sizes for your campaign. So again, those are called Google Display Ads, still very, very effective. Of course, thinking about what your overall goals are, I think a lot of us want to increase web traffic and online purchases. So you want to drive people to your website. Some of you may, let's say you're opening a new location. Yeah, it's great to get over to my website, but I actually want to get people in my door, in my brick and mortar location. So instead, maybe you want to promote more of your address. Or that third one, you want to promote more of your phone number. And you can certainly do that through this setup. Just think about what your overall goals are. Now, there is a really cool tool out there for those who may be a little worried about, gosh, I don't know where to start when it comes to my keywords. There is a tool called the Google Keyword Planner. Again, that's the Google Keyword Planner. And what you can do is go on there, and honestly, it's just kind of fun to play around. So you're going to add in some keywords that you feel would be relevant to what you're looking to write an ad for or market for. There's also an option for you to upload the URL of your own website, and then Google will scan your website and then provide a list of recommended keywords. So you're not alone. Google wants this to be successful for you as well. But the beauty is with anything digital, don't feel like it's set in stone, okay? Because after a couple of weeks, after 30 days, if you still want to keep running the campaign, go and make adjustments. What's working, what's not working, trim out some irrelevant keywords and just focus on some of those cohorts that are performing very, very well for you. So again, that's the Google Keyword Planner. It will give you average number of searches for certain keywords within a certain area over a certain period of time. So again, really, really cool stuff if you like metrics and diving into like databases and certain things like that. It will give you a lot of really nice information. All right. There are a variety, both in Google Search and Google Display. You're in control of your budget. You're not signing any type of long-term agreement with Google. Going back to more traditional forms of marketing, like a magazine article, newspaper, billboard, et cetera. Again, all incredible mediums, but you are signing some type of an agreement saying that I agree to run my ad for 30 days, 60 days, 90 days, and this is how much I'm going to spend. With Google, you can start it now and turn it off 4 hours from now if you wanted to. There's no long-term commitment. There's also different bidding types. Now, my favorite one is what we've been discussing, your CPC, your cost per click, meaning that you're only paying when someone clicks on that ad. That price could range, that average cost per click may range depending on competition in the area. And so again, it will be different for everyone on the call, but that is a strategy I recommend for those who are really looking to generate traffic over to your website. Now, some of you may be interested in just getting the word out there more. So maybe you're a new restaurant in town and you're opening at the end of February. I love it. Let's get an impression-based campaign going. This would be also great for a billboard, but let's just say we want to do both traditional print media to get the name out there more and digital. Google Display Ads would be an incredible way to get the word out. You can also do the same thing through Google Search as well, is that for every 1,000 times the ad is shown, you're spending a certain amount versus cost per click when you're only spending it for that click. So hopefully that makes sense. But again, my personal favorite, again, depending on goal, but we see more people do cost per click campaigns because it just makes sense, right? Here you have someone actively searching. I don't mind spending a couple dollars to get them over to my website because there's a higher chance that they're going to reach out because they are actively looking for what we have to offer. There's also something called conversions. And so conversions, I will say, are a little more advanced. You do need to work with a web developer to set up some tracking codes, but here's essentially how it works at a very high level explanation. You have cost per click, right? So you're only paying when someone clicks it. You have cost per impressions, meaning you're only paying every 1,000 times the ad is shown. And then you have a cost per acquisition, or sometimes called a conversion. A conversion could mean different things to different businesses, depending on what your goal is. So let's say I want more people to fill out a form on my website. I want to generate more leads. That's my goal. So I run an ad, and then Google will know, okay, someone clicked on this ad, they went to your website, they filled out a form and sent the form. Because they originally went to your website from your ad that you were running, it's going to count that as a conversion because they did something. They performed a goal, a certain call to action on your website that you wanted them to. But because on the back end there's some tracking codes, the system knows, okay, they originally got to your website from this ad that you're running, completed this form, we're going to count that as a conversion. And what's really cool is that it will tell you the average cost per conversion. So the average cost per lead coming in. You could do the same thing for a phone call. So instead of a form, maybe you want someone to just click that phone number at the top or something. You can do that as well. Now, I will say again, this is a little more advanced because you do need to get your web developer involved to add in some of those tracking codes on the back-end side. But part of my goal today was just to make sure I'm providing a lot of the basic terminology and the general understanding of what your options are. So then when you do go in, you're going to think, okay, that's what he was talking about, cost per conversion. My recommendation, start with cost per click, just so you can get the lay of the land, you understand metrics, etc. So, of course, Google wants to help you. So you can actually call Google and talk to an expert to get your account campaign set up. And then actually, as it's off and running, sometimes Google will reach out to you with a representative and just kind of check in, and they will make some adjustments to your campaign, which is great. So there's the phone number for that as well. Okay, we do have about 10 minutes left, so be sure to get any questions in if you can. And again, Jordan will read me those at the end. I do want to go over, as we wrap up here, metrics, because this is so important, especially in the world of digital. You have to know or understand what everything means. So this was an actual screenshot from a campaign that we helped manage for a chauffeur company. And so they had limousine services, and they had this app. And then look at the different columns here. We have clicks, impressions, CTR, so that is your click-through rate, average CPC, meaning your average cost per click. So you can see $1.91, $2.17. So that's how much they were spending per click to click on that ad, okay? Your total cost over there, $15 for that ad group, $97 for that second ad group, your average position, the number of conversions. I think the conversions that were set up for this campaign were phone calls. It was tracking phone calls, so how many phone calls were generated. So really cool stuff. But again, if I was to show you or say, hey, you got 8 clicks on your website, if we're looking at that car app, that first row, 8 clicks on your website this week. Is that good? Well, it was shown 541 times and you got 8 clicks. Your click-through rate is 1.48%. Not the best, right? So maybe we just don't push the app, or maybe we need to rewrite the ad copy for the app. But if you look at the chauffeur service, wow, 8.79% click-through rate. So 45 clicks out of 512 impressions. That's a pretty high click-through rate. Our average cost was just over $2 per click, and we're spending under $100. Now, how incredible is that, right? Under $100 we spent for 45 people to visit our website, people that are actively looking for chauffeur services, and that's exactly what we're trying to market. So that's, again, why I love Google Ad products. So again, like I mentioned earlier, everyone on the call, we will all have different average click-through rates based on our industry. Average CTR rate for Google search, I believe, is 1.91%. Anything above 2% is considered above average. Now, you may see some articles out there that will say maybe they're a little higher, about 3% or more. Again, this is a blended average. Average click-through rate for Google Display, 0.35%. Okay, and again, these may change based off different studies that you find online or studies related to your specific industry. And then as we wrap up, I do want to mention Google Smart Campaign. Let me see if I can get the URL for you here. 1 second. Yeah, I would just Google Google Smart Campaigns and see how it comes up or what URL comes up. Basically, if you are the type that maybe you get a little overwhelmed with a lot of like user interfaces and different like setup fields and everything, that's okay. There is a kind of entry-level version of Google Ads called Smart Campaigns. You're not going to have all the bells and whistles as a main Google Ad account, but you can get it up quickly. You can do, again, cost per click campaigns. It's going to give you some metrics, but it's more of a watered down version of Google Ads. It's really kind of an express version. And it's great for those who, again, may feel like, hey, I just want to like dip my toes a little bit in Google Ads, and then maybe you can graduate over to the main Google Ad platform. But if you're the type that, you know, I love metrics, I have some time to really dive into this, I really want to understand the best way I can utilize all the different advertising tools from Google, start with just the main Google Ad account. I think that's fine too. All right, so I'm going to leave you with some basic terms. We're not going to go through each one of these, but this will just be, again, a lot of those terms that I mentioned here today. Ways to organize your account. So Google will certainly assist you with this. There's a difference between campaigns and ad groups. So let's say if I am a craft store and I offer knitting and sewing items, but then I also offer kids crafts. How do I market all those products? So one campaign, you're going to classify everything under the knitting and sewing category. And then another campaign you're going to create for just kids crafts. Underneath each one of those, you're going to have different ad groups. So you're going to have ads related to just yarn, just needles and hoops, fabric and embroidery thread. And then under the second campaign, you're going to have one ad about paint and markers, glitter and glue. So again, you may have different categories of products or services that you're looking to market, and you don't need to market everything all at once. You could just start with one, but that's how Google likes to set up different things by classification of these kind of different subgroups of your offerings. And again, just some other keyword match types there. If you're interested, you could also get certified from Google. So you can get a Google Display certification, search certification. That's the one that I am certified in, is specifically search, but they do offer some really nice certifications online. So you can just Google like Google Ad certifications, and again, this will pop up. So again, hopefully you had some incredible takeaways today that will help you elevate your online strategies for 2025. Like with all my workshops, I wish we could spend all day and maybe set some accounts up. Jordan and I are always interested in exploring new topic ideas. So if maybe that's something that you're interested in, is more of a hands-on activity and how to get your account set up, feel free to ping Jordan at the SPDC. Again, like I said, we're always looking for new topic ideas. I'm sure she already mentioned, but we did roll out a variety of new topics or some older topics that we're presenting again in 2025. That list is on the SPDC website, in addition to our website as well on that workshop page. All those are free to attend. You do just have to register ahead of time. So again, I want to thank you very much for attending today, our kind of crash course on advertising with Google Ads. I'm going to hand it over to Jordan to see if we have any questions, and we'll go from there.
Thanks so much, Scott. We do have just a couple questions actually submitted, and one of them another attendee had answered, but I just want to make sure we get it answered on the recording in case anyone missed it. They asked, do you mind repeating the website softwares to create/design your own website?
Oh, yeah, great. If you're looking to design your own website, there's a variety of different options out there. There's Wix, Wix.com. Squarespace, all spelled out, .com. GoDaddy, does have a website builder, but it's very simple. You're not going to have a whole lot of options available to you. Those are the two, if you're doing it yourself, they're great plug and play where you can select a template, but then make sure you take some time to go in and adjust the site to reflect your brand. So the fonts and the colors and the layout. Of course, there's platforms like WordPress that's a little more robust. But for small businesses starting out, especially if you're doing it yourself, Wix or Squarespace are two great platforms to look into.
And then the next one says, are display ads usually more expensive than search ads?
I'm sorry, you were cutting. What was the question then?
Are display ads usually more expensive than search ads?
Great question. Sometimes it depends the area that you're running your display ad on or the website your ads are displayed on. So for example, within the setup of Google Display Ads, you can actually set preferences on actually, I want to run my display ad on Oprah's website. You can do that, but it's going to cost you a ton of money because other very large advertisers are willing to spend a lot per click to get their ad onto her website. So generally, yes, Google Display Ads do cost maybe a little bit more, just depending on the site that those ads land on and the area that they land on. But yes, from my experience, I have seen Google Display cost a little bit more.
And then we do have two more. The next one says, we are a nonprofit. What can you share about Google Ad grants?
Google Ad grants, great. Truthfully, I know about them. I don't have a whole lot of personal experience in Google Ad grants. I do know that there are times they do release like I don't know what they refer to it, like a credit, like a $500 credit to get you started. And then it's like a promotional code where you could just kind of enter that in and it goes on your account. At least that's what I remember from back in the day. I don't know how they still do that. But I would certainly recommend, yeah, if you are a nonprofit organization, do some research on Google Ads for nonprofits. Again, they may have a variety of different grant options available. I know like during the pandemic, things were rolling out left and right for nonprofits and for-profit organizations too, just to get people's, get your business out there. So unfortunately, I don't have a whole lot of answers on Google Grants, so I do apologize. But I know there are resources out there for Google Ads for nonprofits, and I would certainly look into those before you launch a campaign because there could be some free money out there.
Which everyone loves.
Right, we all love that.
All right, our next one says, how do you feel about MailChimp for a website?
Great. I love MailChimp as an email marketing platform. I have not used MailChimp as its own standalone website. I know MailChimp has the ability to create landing pages. So let's say if you're just pushing one particular thing, instead of building a whole website, you can just design one marketing single landing page. I know you could do that in MailChimp. I haven't heard of MailChimp being used as a full website platform. I would caution using it as your full website because MailChimp is an email system first. That's their bread and butter. And if they are starting to offer websites, it's kind of their second thing, right? Email marketing first, website second. So I don't know, what some of the customizations would be. I would really think about what you want the website to do, or do you have any special functionality requests? Does it need to integrate with other systems that you might use to help operate your business? Can MailChimp accommodate that? Maybe they can, I'm not sure, but I've only ever used it for email marketing and then for landing pages, not for a full-fledged website.
And we did get one more, which I do want to make sure we get covered because it is very
please.
specific to this topic.
Please.
It says, for pay per click, do you only pay if they click on that top sponsored link? If they scroll down and just click on your regular link, you aren't charged. Is that correct?
Great question. That is correct. Yeah. So if someone is clicking that one of those top sponsored links, that's when they're getting billed if they have a cost per click bidding strategy in place. Some of those advertisers might have a cost per impression, so they're not being charged every time it's clicked. It's only being charged every 1,000 times it's being shown. But yes, if I was to scroll down and your organic search has nothing to do with Google Ads, you're not being billed, that's all related to how your website is designed.
Perfect. Yes, there was a question in the chat about contacting the SBDC. I'm going to put the general email address in the chat for the SBDC. If you email that, you will get a response from either myself or another one of our staff members. So feel free to shoot us over any specific information, or if you're interested in registering as a client or anything like that. So we are all caught up on questions. So we'll go ahead and wrap up today's session. Like Scott said, we do have a variety of upcoming sessions. So I'm going to include that in our follow-up email tomorrow morning. We have scheduled through Q1 of this year. And so once again, like Scott said, if you have a topic that you think would be beneficial to yourself and fellow small business owners, please feel free to share that with us. We're always open to any ideas. We do have a new one coming up, AI for your small business. So that was a recommendation off of some of our frequent flyers here at our workshop. So we will be doing that. And I do want to go ahead and plug that our next session, which is virtually, is unlocking Facebook and Instagram ads. So I know Scott had touched a little bit on advertising within different platforms. And so feel free to join us back here later this month for that one, and I'll include the information for that email. So thank you everyone for joining us today. And thank you so much, Scott, for being here and presenting.
Yeah, wonderful. Thank you, Jordan. And thank you all very much for joining. This was our first webinar for 2025. And like Jordan mentioned, we have some incredible topics coming up this year. So I really hope to see you on one of our next ones, and enjoy the rest of your day. All right. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Thanks, everybody. Bye-bye.